What's up?
Hey man, chilling
Yeah.
here, Wilmington,
Wilmington, North
doing some
Carolina.
shows over at Dead Crow,
Yeah, yeah.
and enjoying. I enjoy coming to cities that's completely different. That's like outside my norm.
Yeah, yeah,
Cause
yeah.
LA is very hustle bustle. LA is very fake too.
I heard that.
Where
Hmm.
I'm originally from Arkansas, and like when I first moved to California, people would ask me, they're like, "Aren't you glad you're not in the South anymore, where all those racist people are there?" And
Yeah.
I would tell them, I'm like, at least down south, I knew who didn't like me, and I knew where not to go.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
LA, everybody smiles in your face, but secretly
They hate you.
they secretly hate you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I enjoy I enjoy going to dine. I haven't figured out how to eat out of town. Cause
Oh yeah.
I want to try everybody's food. I'm asking like, where do you go? Where do you go? Where do you
Mm-hmm.
go? In LA, I try to eat a little bit better because
Mm-hmm.
I know where to go and I guess home. But then when I'm on the road, I want to eat all the time.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
my workout regimen is not the same on the road as it is when I'm home.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
I can imagine. Yeah, dude. That's funny. So you said from Arkansas is where you're from?
originally from Arkansas. Then me and my dad got a job offer
Mm-hmm.
up in St. Louis.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So end up moving to St. Louis.
So you
And
haven't
then
spent too much time out here in the South, kind of thing, right?
no. So my first few years was in the South, but then like every summer I would spend time at my
Mm-hmm.
grandma's, who still had her place in West Memphis, Arkansas.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then yeah, St. Louis. St. Louis is like they call it the Midwest, but it's like Mid South. I call it the Mid South
Mid South. Yeah, yeah.
because like Michigan and like Illinois, they consider themselves Midwest too. But I'm like, we're St. Louis is like right there in the middle of like before it gets to the south and
Yeah,
before
yeah.
it gets to the top,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
mid
Yeah, I get
north.
that. Yeah, yeah, it's funny. So like, cause I just went to Paris earlier this year, and I was
Nice.
over there for a little while, and I was talking to the bartender, and he's a black dude, and I was like, yeah, man. He's like, where are you from, and I was like, oh, North Carolina, and like they don't know nothing besides like California, New York, and Texas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh yeah, no, it's like it's in the South. He's like, oh okay, so like the racist people is what you're saying, and I was like,
Uh,
put me. I'm like, oh come on, man, like, but he was real cool and everything. But it's funny. So like as soon as you got here, you was like, I'm glad to be back in the South. And then you got out and you got to your hotel and you said you walk out and saw the cotton exchange, right?
my hotel, yeah. So when I open up my windows to the hotel, it's the Cotton Exchange. It's just a humble reminder.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
right.
no, it's cool because like I went over there just mainly out of for content purposes.
Yeah.
And it
That's
was
why I saw
like
you post about it. That's why I was like wanted to talk about
yeah,
it.
but they say that it's haunted. Like they like there's
Oh, that's a
actual
big thing out here. Yeah, like
yeah.
people
Do
are
you
into the
believe
haunted.
in ghosts and all of that?
Um, I kinda, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty analytical though, so it's like hard for me to, it's easy for me to write it off. But like, I don't think I'm gonna go on ghost walks and be like, where are the
Yeah,
ghosts
like
at? You know
test
what I'm
them,
saying? Yeah, and if
right?
they are there, I don't want to piss them off.
Yeah,
You know
like
what I'm saying?
I still won't go in the bathroom and look in the mirror and say Bloody Mary 3 times, just in case Bloody Mary does show up.
Damn.
You ever hear people do that? Like they'll
No, you
go,
gave me like a flashback of when I was like a kid and I did it. And I could have swore I saw something in the mirror and like it kind of just brought back that fear a little bit.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I won't do those things just in case. But I'm kind of analytical too. But
Mm.
I feel like I feel like I've seen spirits and stuff like that. So it's easier for me to be like, okay, no, I do believe that there's
Hmm.
something out there.
Yeah.
I haven't fully been convinced about aliens. Like some people swear there's aliens out
Yeah. It's like I guess I'm kind of on the same page with ghosts as aliens. You know what I mean? It's
there.
like they might be, but they might not. I'm also like understand. I don't. I think we're a little bit arrogant as a species. You know what I mean? Like we
Very
got it
arrogant.
all figured out. What I always thought is funny. It's like I was talking to a buddy about this the other day. It's like if all them years people were talking about like metaphysical and like the afterlife and like sacrificing things for the gods and whatnot, and you're telling me they got it wrong for that long. Not to say we should go out and sacrifice virgins or anything, but I'm
Yeah,
saying like it's like
right.
there's something to me, it's like something about like a mental thing of keeping them in check. Of like, okay, I give up the best cow for the gods. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Keeps them humble. I don't know.
All a lot of stuff just blows my mind, just science wise. Like I was telling somebody the other day, I'm like, if technology was up to me, we would still be in like fire days. Like, I don't understand the concept of Bluetooth. Like, this is Bluetooth, this is
Yeah.
Wi-Fi. Like, I would never have came up with Wi-Fi. I would never have
Mhm.
figured out Bluetooth. I wouldn't have figured out telephones and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And like, even when you go back and like I YouTube records, how records are made.
Mhm.
And it's wax. It's wax. Someone figured out how to capture vibration and put it on this wax,
Mhm.
and so that you can play it.
So it's like the vibration just amplified, like out of the
Yeah,
little, like the old school big trombone looking sort of. What is it?
yeah,
Like the big horn kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, how'd you even think of that?
Yeah. No,
Like
that is wild.
cell phones. Like who thought to let me figure out how to communicate to you
Mhm.
via this? Like,
Mhm.
I don't know what your knowledge and skill base is. Like, I
Mhm.
could build shit. I would be able to build a home. Like, I
Mhm.
would have figured that shit out. But like this, cell
Yeah,
phones,
yeah,
computers,
yeah, yeah.
man, I don't know. So how dare I think that there's nothing out there
Oh
that's
yeah, there's something going on.
something.
Something's going on out
Yeah,
there. I don't
yeah.
know if they're like abducting people and anal probing them or not, but
Right,
yeah, but yeah,
right, yeah, yeah.
maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know what they're into. You know what I'm saying?
I
But yeah, I mean, I've always been. I'm interested in it too. Obviously, like the podcast I listen to, like Rogan's a big one. He's always talking about it. You know what I mean, and that kind of thing. And even
Mhm.
this new Netflix documentary. Well, it's not new. They had a season 1, but season 2 just came out. Ancient Apocalypse.
I heard of it. I
Yeah, it's
haven't
good.
seen it yet though.
I like it. Yeah, I like
What
it.
What do you like about it?
Um, it's just interesting, I don't know. I always like the Egyptians and like the old school, like all that crap back in the day. Just like I was talking about, with like we don't know what they had going on, how did that all work, and I would butcher it even trying to explain what his theories and whatnot are. But like, it's kind of cool listening to it. Like, huh, maybe
Yeah,
that's right. My dad's also like diehard into ancient aliens. He's like, well, they're aliens. It's like,
but I vaguely understand. Like, I would never be like, man, no. I would
yeah.
never be that person.
I try not to be that about anything. It's like, well, maybe, but mostly, for certain stuff.
Here's my thing about just even like the pyramids. Like, they still haven't figured out how the pyramids were built. Like, even
Yeah.
where we are right now, they still like,
Yeah.
Like, how does no one have an idea how they were built?
Yeah, yeah. That's what. Yeah, and like they think that like I think we're closer to the oh, I can't remember. It's one of the pyramids. We're closer to it than they are to the Sphinx. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like our timeline is closer to the Great Pyramid of Giza, for example, compared to the Great Pyramid of Giza's timeline to the Sphinx. So it's that much older than it. You know what I mean?
Wow.
That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true. Jamie, look that up. We don't have a Jamie. We're not there yet.
Next year.
Brock, go. Yeah, come on, Brock. Put my
Brock's the
dog to
dog,
work.
man.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
but yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It's cool to talk about. Wonder.
yeah. I grew up religious. My
Yeah.
dad's a pastor. So I grew up on the Bible stories and all of that. And then as I got older, and it's funny having information passed down to now doing like my own research.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
an old saying: in order to find God, you have to kill your God.
Mhm.
Meaning, like, everything that you've been taught about religion, about spirituality, God, or whatever, in order to find your own personal connection, because right now I'm only being given what my dad told me, what his
Mhm.
dad told him, and it's just been passed down, that information.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's up there. It's not up there. I know this is almost like this is an extreme example, but like, let's say somebody had a toothache back in 100 years ago. They'd be like, oh, if you chew on a rabbit's foot,
Yeah.
like, it was like those type of weird home remedies. It was like,
Mhm.
oh, there's a dead rabbit. That must mean somebody's pregnant, and,
Yeah.
and people believed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because what did they have to go
I
off
still do
of?
that to this day, actually.
Yeah.
That's a common one. The rabbit foot thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
it works. It works.
It
No, I'm just joking.
I got a rabbit foot tea right now,
Yeah,
growing.
I got a hair on my tooth, I think. Hold on, from a toothache earlier. But no, I mean they didn't know what it's like. It's like they were ignorant at the same time, but like way back in the day. But like some stuff is like, could it all be bullshit? But
Yeah,
The
like even
rabbit's foot thing for sure.
when we even look at history, like the Salem witch trials, like they really thought people were witches for like the most craziest of reasons. It was
Oh,
like
that's true. I
that.
think I've dated a few of them actually. You know,
No, witches, yeah, but like sometimes it would be like, oh, this person, like you could just accuse somebody, and then they're like, well, we're gonna put a rock, tie them up on a rock, and throw them in the lake, and if they come up, then they were a witch, and if they die, then they weren't. I guess it was like,
they were like, yeah, we figured it out.
Yeah,
and they all kept dying. It's like, well,
at some point,
sorry about
somebody
your
was
wife,
like,
you know.
we gotta stop this, man. You can't be killing all the women like this.
I
Damn.
know, that's my girlfriend.
That's my girlfriend, man.
She was the best in bed. Yeah, no, I wonder. I heard that there was a thing to that. Something like it's some kind of theory I probably heard on Rogan's podcast. But talking about like they thought that maybe there was something in the waters, like a bacteria that had people like losing their shit a little bit, or something like that. You know what I mean, or something like that. I mean,
they were still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And then you go through that period of like I do shrooms.
Yeah.
And
growing
like, and the thing about shrooms, you have to find the right shroom. Like, because there's some mushrooms that'll kill you. Like, if you eat it. So somebody had to figure out, like, these ones are good. Like, even ones that you have at restaurants, like these we get you at restaurants. This one, if you're trying to see God, you can eat these.
Yeah.
This one, that's a suicide trip right there.
That was probably a dare, like back in the day. You're like, hey, Eric, eat that cow shit mushroom. And he's like, fuck, man, come on, dude. I know he's seeing God,
I read that what they used to do back before it was inhumane was they had prisoners try like different
medicinal
fruits
stuff
and stuff to see what worked, what didn't work, and then just like early science and like anatomy was crazy. Like they had those people that would just peel back layers of skin to understand,
or bloodletting or something.
Yeah, just to see how veins work, how to cut. Like somebody's sitting there cutting up hands and be like, okay, so that's a bone right there. Then let's name this one this and this one that. Like, dang.
Yeah, they did some wild shit back then.
And it's only technology and stuff is only gonna get better. Like I have a joke about my grandma. She's 103 years old. Like she was born when cars was just a rumor. Like she was like someone doubted cars when she was born.
Yeah,
and now
I can see that. Kind of like AI now. They're like,
people like AI, like, oh, AI is gonna take the job. Yeah, it probably will.
Yeah. So did cars.
So did cars. Cars took somebody's job.
And planes and the internet.
And it just keeps on. It keeps on going. It keeps on going. We just figuring out more and more stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they talking right now about these AI girlfriends. Like I was watching somebody talk about it. It's like in like 5 years when they perfect AI. And just like they're showing videos of like in China where people are building like robots that have like silicone skin on them and they starting to look real.
Yeah.
And now you can have conversations with AI and all of that.
It's kind of scary.
It's
kind of
scary.
wild.
My mom was like, "That's disgusting." My mom's like one of those people that's like, the AI relationship or robot relationships will never work. That's what she said. I was like,
oh, it'll work.
It's gonna work.
It's not gonna be right. I mean, it's gonna look a little off.
It's gonna be And I was like, what? I'm like, Mom, and I asked my mom. I said, Mom, what's the kind of having a robot girlfriend? She's like, because they're not real. I'm like, I get it.
They're not real.
But you start looking at the women, and they're wearing makeup, they're getting these BBLs, fake boobs, fake ass, fake this,
that's not real either.
She was like, well, you want them to be able to have babies.
Yeah.
All right.
It's okay with me. No child support.
No child support. Coming from a person that paid child support. Hey.
And you can just push a button and they stop talking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I'm done.
Yeah, unplug it. Yeah. Unless your battery died, you keep talking. Keep fucking around. See what happens.
But I am also like, I can see how AI will take over too. It could possibly.
Well, especially like with the entertainment industry in particular, like with writing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, comedies like with movies in particular, the comedies in the movies like kind of suck right now. So like
garbage.
I mean, hopefully they come up with, but like you hope that when they come out with new movies, even comedy or whatever genre, it's like is it AI? Like, is it going to be like, is it going to be better? Is it going to be worse?
100%.
You know what I mean?
It's gonna pump out content so fast, and then so here, I was one of those people that was on the that was out there on the strikes,
The writer strike.
writer
Yeah.
strike, because one of the things that they was fighting over was AI. It was like y'all, like the networks are like, we can get AI to pump out a script in like a day,
Yeah.
and just have like maybe a writer or two,
Like a edited kind of thing. Yeah.
just personalize it more. And so they're like, no, 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 no. So every 3 years there's negotiations on these contracts. So they gave them some leeway. They negotiated like, all right, we'll keep away AI for
So
whatever.
they just not going to do it. That's like the rule, or
Well, it's not. They are doing it behind the scenes, but there's on paper they're saying they're not doing it. But once this contract,
it's like a college writing paper. You're like, let us change the word just a little bit.
That's all that they're doing.
Yeah, let me change a D to day or something like that. Something like that.
So, but when the contract negotiations happen again in another 3 years, they're gonna have less and less foot to stand on.
Yeah,
just like anything, like when you look at even like politics, when it's like, oh, they're trying to get rid of coal mines. Oh, they're trying to get rid of this. They're trying to get rid of gas. They're trying to. Eventually, it's going to get. It's going to be got rid of. However you want to say.
Yeah,
it,
you got to go with it. I mean, because it's going to come. It's like when it's coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not. And that's just like my girlfriend always said. I always told her. I was trying to go somewhere with that. Just now, but a little sexual. I was going somewhere with it, but I fucked it up.
It's the ADHD. I have it too, man. My ADHD strong, man.
Really?
Names don't stick. Names just melt off my brain.
Mine, it's like I wasn't on medication or even being diagnosed until I tried to get on Adderall thinking in the last 2 years, thinking it would help, and it did, but then it nullified something. I'm actually a month off, so my symptoms are probably like more so than before, but like it nullified something. I can't even explain what it was exactly, but it's like something just wasn't there.
Yeah.
Maybe because my dopamine was like being artificially given to me. Like I didn't really enjoy the things that I thought I enjoyed. I'm just like aggressively cleaning my fucking house for no reason.
Man, for real. I was just like, I'm on Adderall too. I started off on the regular tablets, but then I do the extended release.
That's better. I had the hours.
You had just the tablet where it was just like
the instant
go
release,
hard for like 2 hours
and
then be like, oh.
But it was the instant release, so I had 5 milligrams. I was prescribed 5 milligrams 3 times a day, and that's what I wanted them to do. Because when I was a teenager, I was into drugs, so I knew what I was getting into. Essentially, I'm getting speed is really for me. But maybe I was at ADHD, or maybe it was like me justifying it. I don't know. Either way, it was too fucking easy to get it. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
I went there. They asked me 10 questions. Do you focus? I was like, hard time. Well, do you this, and I'm like, and then okay, Adderall. There you go. Like, damn. That was way too fucking easy.
So now because I was going through that. And I lost a bunch of weight when I was on Adderall. Because you don't get hungry.
Appetite is suppressed hard. Yeah.
But I smoke weed, so I also got the munchies, so it kind of balanced it out. But I end up only now doing Adderall when I have something to do. I'm like, all right, I got a script I got to write. All right, I'm about to do this long ass drive because I travel a lot. And sometimes I gotta do a 6-hour drive here, 8-hour drive here, 2-hour drive here.
Yeah. I'm not against that. For me, I think I knew I don't think I really needed it. I think I was just doing it because I thought it would help me. It was like a PED for me. I was like, get some shit done. You know what I mean? But then you end up working on shit that don't need to be fucking worked on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Organizing my cabinet drawers and shit like that. But
that's true.
Yeah.
I was doing random stuff. I hit up my homegirl. I'm like, "What you up to?" She like, "Nothing, cleaning up." I was like, "I'm gonna come over and help you." I'm like, I got like 2 more hours of Adderall in me.
Hold on. You're not gonna do it right if you come over and help. That's also, I think some people definitely benefit from it. Like it works for some people. I don't know. I don't think it was working for me. Just like weed, I can't smoke weed. I wish I could.
Why?
Like,
what happened?
I don't know. I used to sell it when I was a kid, and I used to love it. I'd smoke it all the time. Back when it was illegal and it was cool, It was cool. You had a quarter pound of some dirt weed. You're like,
we only had like a few weeds back then. It was just like pot. It was just like, what is it?
$25 a quarter.
I forgot what the other one's called. But but now there's so many strains, bro.
Plus, it's strong as fuck. Like now when I smoke it, it just makes me like. I mean, I don't. If I stay moving and I'm doing shit and I don't smoke too much and I don't smoke while I'm drinking, I can ride it out. But like if I'm sitting on the couch and I'm drinking, then I start spinning, and then like I just can't. I get too analytical. You know what I mean? So maybe I get too in my head or something.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, now I know. I kind of know the gummies work better for me than anything. Like I can take a little piece of a gummy. I know exactly how I feel, and I like exact. But if I smoke it, maybe also because like when I was smoking as a teenager, it was a really bad time in my life because like all the bullshit I was doing. So maybe it's like I associate that feeling of smoking weed with like that time in my life. So that might be it's like a stigma now. Like I can't really get out of it. You know what I mean?
I do it for creative purposes. So
It makes you
I do
so
it before. Sometimes I do it before shows.
Yeah.
And like if I'm writing, I'm like, all right, we gotta get creative. Let's do this. And I do like 5 puffs, and then I'm like, all right, come on. And what weed does, or at least for me, it shuts because I'm rabbit squirrel. I'm all over the place, just in my head. And this voice. I'm like, hey, Willie, let's go do it. I'm like, no, we gotta focus. Let's write. It shuts down. It quite like.
Yeah.
Let's
helps you zero in.
Yeah, it helps me zero in.
It brings out that funny too.
Like,
Like you used to, like I do start thinking about funny shit, and I'm like, I'm writing that fucking shit down.
Yeah, that's
the next
exactly
day I'm
how
like,
it is.
hey, it wasn't as funny as I thought it was last night.
I've tried it on stage before, and people be like crickets. I'd be like, yeah, okay, I'm sorry. That was
man, let's get into that. So yeah, comedy. How'd you get into that? What was your first open mic like? All that. I want to hear it.
So I've always been funny.
Yeah.
I've
Fast
always
kind of
been
thing.
funny since I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But growing up the way that I grew up, it wasn't called funny.
Yeah.
It was called, why you acting so silly? Will you quit acting up? It was shame though. It was like shame.
It's called
shame.
getting your ass whooped.
Yeah. It was called the devil. And so it was compressed. Mm-hmm. I put it down. But I kept getting in trouble in school, and I remember my dad being like, "What is wrong with you? Why do you gotta act so goofy all the time?"
Yeah. And
I'm like, I don't know. I just see the world. If a regular person sees 12 colors in the world, I see 35.
Yeah.
I just like, I got a tattoo on my arm that says, "Life is a tragedy for those who feel, and a comedy for those who think."
Yeah.
So people could go through the same situation and be like, this is the worst thing ever. Now, I'm not negating that this is a bad situation, but it's also like
it's also kind of fucking
it's
funny,
also
right?
kind of, I remember having arguments with my ex, and we would just go back and forth, and then I would just start laughing. And she's like, "Oh, you think this is fun?" I'm like, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I'm laughing, but you got to see how funny this is." At the same time, we're arguing. Like we had an argument over. She was really anal over like how you place the toilet paper roll.
Oh yeah,
like
over and down.
I just place the toilet paper roll on the toilet. Boom, I'm done.
It's like a 50% chance is right for her.
Yeah,
it's like
she like it needs to be waterfall. I said, what?
She had a name for it.
Go. Yeah, she had a name for it. How is that not funny?
I know, that's hilarious. I never even thought about that. I was like, that makes so much sense. Waterfall. I didn't even know that. That's great.
So we would go into it, or like if she would get upset and she would just be she'll get quiet. Yeah, and I'm like, oh, come on, talk to me. Don't talk to me. And I'm like,
I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. I'm like, you're not good.
Yeah.
And I would find things, but I've always was like in second grade, I remember this still to this day. I used to act like my hand was alive in class. Like I'd be sitting at the desk, and then all of
a sudden, like the claw, like Jim Carrey's the claw.
Yeah, that was me. And I was really doing it. Like I would fight with myself, and I'm like, I'm sorry, everybody. Yeah. Teacher be like, my dad be like, teacher said you was fighting with your hand.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? I'm like, oh no. Like
I won though, Dad.
Yeah, but I
won. You should be proud, yeah.
So as I got older, I like I said, I drowned it out. I compressed it. I tried to figure out how to keep it down, but it was always there. It would come out.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I was dating this chick, and she's like, I'm moving to Los Angeles. We worked together at this place called Churn and Shoe Outlet.
Mm-hmm.
And she was a model. She did all the local talent shows in St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, "Yeah, I'm moving to Los Angeles." And I was like, "Hey, chill out. People from St. Louis don't leave St. Louis. Like,
Mm-hmm.
let's figure this out." I was going to a community college to do computer programming because that's what my dad was. He was a computer programmer. He made a bunch of money.
There's
So I
money
was
in it.
like, "All
Yeah.
right, this is what my life is supposed to be."
Mm-hmm.
You know, because some places down south, Midwest, Bible Belt was like, "Hey, you go to school, you get your degree, you get your career, you get married, you have kids, you retire, and you teach them to do the same thing."
Yeah, yeah. You
I
play it
didn't
safe
know
kind
about
of thing.
the entertainment industry. Like, yeah, I watched TV, but that wasn't real. Like TV stuff that like those actors and all of that stuff.
So it
That,
wasn't like early on, like I want to do that. It was
no,
just kind of yeah.
no
Okay.
idea.
Yeah.
So she comes to Los Angeles, and so I'm like, well, I'm not. I already got arrested once.
Mm-hmm.
I graduated high school with a 1.9 GPA. I was at a community college. I'm like, what's my life?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, it's not like I'm killing it. So I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out there with you.
Mm-hmm.
And so we went to a college. We found a college, but it found out later in life it was a scam school. Like they ended up shutting down after I graduated because they were stealing money from the students.
What was it, like a modeling acting thing or something?
No. It was called American Intercontinental University.
Oh yeah.
And
Okay.
it was like one of those like vocational schools.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They said $70,000 and they'll put you up in these apartments, which they did. But they was really they was adding more money. They was telling us it was 50,000, but they would tell Sally Mae it was 70,000, and
Oh
we were just
yeah.
paying these loans. But we're young, we're not thinking like that. We
Mm.
already it's not like we was going to a USC where it was like it was like a real school.
Parisian kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so they was taking like that little
inflating
20,000.
money and stuff. Mm-hmm.
So I'm out here now. I'm out there in Los Angeles now, and she finds out that St. Louis models and LA models, two different models, man.
Yeah,
like
two different tiers, kind of.
Yeah. She found out that she was like a strong 6 in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
But in St. Louis, she was.
Yeah.
He was praising her.
Yeah.
So I needed money. So I started doing extra work, like background work.
Yeah.
And I did background work on the Bernie Mac show.
Oh, that was I bet that was awesome.
Awesome.
Oh, that's awesome. I love Bernie Mac too, dude. He's one of my favorite comedians.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah.
And so I was talking to Kalita Smith, who was playing Bernie Mac's wife, on the show. And because they said this really big afro. Now, this is like 2005 at this point. I moved to California in 2004. And she was like, "Where are you from? You look really country." Because I had this big fro.
Mm-hmm.
I had a baggy button-up shirt with these baggy pants with some dress shoes on. She's what is this, Uncle Vibe?
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, St. Louis." She's like, "Oh, my assistant's from St. Louis." So she introduces me to her assistant. Now, me and her talking. We found out we go to the same high school. Went to the same high school. She graduated before me or whatever. Mm-hmm. But while we're talking, Bernie Mac comes out. And he's like,
shit.
"Who's this melted milk dud y'all talking to?"
Was you starstruck?
I'm like, "Oh, shit."
Yeah. It's Bernie.
It's Bernie.
Yeah.
And he was one of the coolest people that I ever met.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. I can imagine.
I was supposed to do 1 day of work on this particular episode, but it ended up being 5 days because Bernie Mac was sick.
Oh, okay.
And so, like, we would, like, cut production short. He was in his green room on, like, an oxygen tank.
Damn.
And, yeah, he was in, like, it was crazy shape, but he was always personable. He was always, like, he never let it affect his personality, who he was.
Who he was, yeah.
And so I was like, whatever this guy does, I want to learn to do. So I went down like a Bernie Mac rabbit hole. I found out that his real name was Bernard McCullum. Like, my real name is Willie McMiller. And I was like, I wanted to have a stage name too. So that's how I came up with Willie Macc, based off of my conversation and my interaction with
Okay.
Bernie Mac, and I added an extra C on there to be different.
Yeah.
But
Oh, that's cool.
so I go down, and I'm looking at Bernie Mac stuff, and I'm like, oh snap, this is a version of what I've been doing my entire life, but was told that this was acting up, that this was this was. And so I was like, all right, I got some stories, but I never really pushed into stand up just yet. I need some more money. So I do this job. I do this gig off of Craigslist. It was called So You Want to Date My Sister. And it was a competition show where it was 3 guys, and they competed to date these brothers' sister. And these brothers will put you through a thing of like competition.
Like a trial thing,
yeah,
or
like
something.
a trial thing to see
Yeah,
who's the best person for the sister.
Yeah.
I end up winning.
He said, "Not to brag,
Not to brag, but yeah, but it never made it to air. They was creating the pilot show for MTV, but it never ended up selling. And the producer from that show was like, "Man, you're really funny. I'm producing this show called College Hill. It's gonna be on season 4. Now, College Hill was the BET version of The Real World, and so they're like, if you go ahead, audition for it, and if you just be you, Willie, just be the natural you. So I go in, audition. I'm being goofy, I'm being funny, and I end up being cast on it. And so one day on there, they was like, hey, let's do a talent show on one of the episodes, because we actually had to go to college or whatever. And so I do this talent show. I'm telling jokes. I'm like, okay, nice. I'm being goofy, doing some sketches or whatever.
And you write it all before?
Yeah.
You like set it up, write it up, and then
set it up and all of that. Now, it wasn't hilarious. It wasn't like, oh, this dude has the sauce, but it was fun. But my character on that show was always goofy, always funny, always laid back.
So it's pretty close to you as your personality.
Yeah. So now after the show, I'm doing radio interviews. So they're like, Willie, you're going to be doing most of the radio interviews. So one of the things that they do when you do radio interviews, they give some of these hosts the show ahead of time so that they can question you. Hey, Willie, you seem to be really funny on this show, man. Yeah. And people ask me a few times, they're like, tell us a joke right now, man.
Oh, that's the worst. Like, oh, okay, hold on. Tell me a joke. Like,
I never had a joke because I wasn't a comedian.
Yeah.
So I had to write my very first joke I ever wrote, 2007. I feel Brock is judging me when Brock was looking at me like, I better laugh.
Yeah, you better make me smile.
So my very first joke that I ever wrote was, so when I first moved to California, I was shot at 4 times.
Damn.
My car got broken into twice, and I was robbed at my place where I was staying at the time. But I got that taken care of, and I ended up breaking up with that girl.
Oh, yeah. So she did all of it? Jesus. That's pretty funny. I'm going there for a minute.
So that was my first joke I ever wrote.
Yeah.
Then that's funny. Tell us another one. I was like, another one. So I started writing. Yeah. And so while I'm writing these jokes, I end up having to go to open mics. So I'm like, all right, I guess I'm a comedian of some sort. I'm trying to be funny. So I started writing these jokes, and then I ended up taking a stand-up comedy class by a guy named David Arnold, who has passed away now. R.I.P. David Arnold. Yeah. And that was my first thing of comedy. So I started doing comedy really from 2008 to 2011, and then I quit because I wasn't funny, man. I mean, my jokes, they was entertaining, but nobody laughed. Like people, that was like the most. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the
okay.
worst.
But I was up there.
Yeah.
And so part of the reason I quit because I wasn't funny, and I also quit because I was in a relationship with somebody. Because me and the girl that I moved to California with, that didn't work out. She
shot at you. I mean, I'd imagine so.
Yeah, she.
I mean, it shot at you and all kinds of stuff. Sounds like.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. So I end up dating somebody else who didn't like that I was doing stand-up comedy, because stand-up is a hard thing to explain to somebody when you're getting into a relationship.
Yeah.
Like, people look at comedy, especially people that's not in the entertainment industry like that. as like it's just a fun thing to do. It's a hobby. It's not real.
Yeah.
Like if you tell, what do you do for a living? I'm a comedian.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're
What
like,
do you
okay.
really do?
Yeah.
Like how do you pay your bills? And
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
no one looks at comedians as somebody that's real unless you're Kevin Hart or Bill
Mhm.
Burr or Dave Chappelle. Then they're like,
Mhm.
those are comedians.
Yeah, yeah.
So comedy, especially in LA, I don't know really how it is in Wilmington, but like you have the Comedy Store, you have the Laugh Factory, you have the Improv, and you're there all night long. You're there till like 2, sometimes 3 a.m.
Even when you're open micing and stuff.
Even when you're open micing, because a lot of the shows that you end up booking come from the fact that you are hanging out.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
now that I'm talking to you, I'm like, hey, if you ever in Los Angeles,
Mhm.
let me know. If you want to get on the show, I got you.
Yeah, yeah.
You get your shows from the hangout.
The networking.
It's the
kind of,
networking
yeah.
part,
Mhm.
but you got to hang around the network.
Yeah.
So your girl's like, hey, what time you coming home?
Yeah.
I'm coming home.
What time you coming here?
Yeah. When you hear, that's
Yeah,
probably 95% of the chance that should be me.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
other
yeah.
5%.
Yeah, you
But-
might need to call the law.
Call my
Yeah.
ex. She got a gun.
I'd imagine in LA it would be like it'd be more accepting though, but even in LA it's still not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even in LA, it's still not because you're spending more time with these people, and most people in relationships, at least from just speaking on my situation, and females want to spend that time with you.
Yeah.
I get a show. Someone's like, "Hey Willie, what you doing October 6th?" I'm like, "I'm there. I'm doing the show."
Mhm.
Then your girl is like, "Hey, October 6th, that's our anniversary. That's my birthday. That's whatever."
We're gonna have a great time at the Comedy Store then.
Yeah, I'm doing a show on the road.
Yeah,
Can you just cancel the show?
Oh yeah,
I
you can't never do that.
But
Yeah.
no,
This is my life.
this is my life.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes a while to find that person that's that sort of supportive.
Yeah, finding somebody supportive, any kind of thing too. Yeah, like anybody that believes in your aspirations and your dreams. And I've had that with my relationships before. It's like I'll tell them what I want to do, and I'm like, dude, you're 33. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Or whatever. Or, well, I'm 33 now, but I'm saying like, really, you know what I mean? Like a little bit of that doubt it comes in, and then you kind of start thinking, you're like, God, you're right. What am I doing?
Can I pet him?
Yeah, you can pet him. I just tell people, don't kiss them is the main thing.
Yeah,
He comes up to you,
I would never.
Now, if you go down there and try to kiss him, that's like probably not a good move.
You taste the seasoning on my hand.
I know. I'm actually gonna put him because he has been making noise. But yeah, the ex-girlfriend thing.
The other part of relationships that's hard is when you start to get good, you get a lot of things.
Oh yeah.
I get a lot of females that not a lot. I got a group of people
Groupies.
that will.
I got a group of groupies.
I got a group of groupies.
Yeah.
Like people that will come to all of my shows.
Oh, that's cool though.
And then your girl might be like, she comes to all your shows.
Yeah, she does.
I can't.
How many do you
She
come
got a
to?
crush on.
Yeah.
She's more supportive than you.
Yeah.
And that's even hard sometimes because sometimes these shows don't pay you a lot of money.
Oh,
like
yeah,
I might make, let's say, $100 for that night, and if my girl wants to come, she wants to drink, she wants to eat. So now
there goes that $100.
there goes my $100.
Yeah, yeah.
If you want to support me, stay home.
Yeah, yeah. That's the best thing.
Stay home.
Watch it on the TV, on live, on my Instagram live.
You've seen what I've said before. Stay home.
Yeah.
So there's a weird balance between everything, and I don't want to have that balance. I want to have that. I just want to be free in my comedy world.
Have you dated like comedians?
I've never dated a comedian. I won't. No. I don't see myself doing that. Dating a comedian is something that would happen, like if we're both successful.
Yeah.
Then maybe.
Then you're all like kind of competing on who's funnier, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would hope that y'all can put y'all powers combined and just be
super funny.
Super funny.
Yeah, with the fucking ring.
Hard.
Yeah.
Win.
Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah.
Love.
Hilarious.
Hilarious.
Bills. Let's say that's the move with a relationship.
Yeah.
Having that split on the bills. But yeah, that's interesting. I mean, yeah, I get that with having even trying to pursue having my own aspirations in the showbiz. It's like there is that where you gotta leave it on the road, you gotta do your thing, and then if you got a dog or if you got a girlfriend, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta leave that back at home.
Yeah, yeah. Like I want a dog, but I can't have a dog because
Yeah.
I
I'm waiting for him to
could.
die. No, that's funny.
But it's just like I don't. The doggy hotels are expensive to
Oh
have
yeah.
somebody like that. These doggy hotels are almost as much as like regular hotels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so you gotta allocate so much fun every time you're on the road. Unless there's some people that bring their dogs on the road with them on the emotional support, but then you got to deal with like a hotel being like you can't have a dog here.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah.
So
do you travel like by plane or do you like
plane.
just plane?
Yeah,
so you don't have like a tour bus or nothing? Or
no. One day.
Well, I mean, I've seen people that even like get their own little RV and they like go like even open micers. I've seen open micers are like, yeah, we ride around an RV and this is what I do. It's like retired or something. They go around doing their thing,
There's a method to that. Like if you let's say for 2025, like if I start now just reaching out to clubs and I have these dates and plane tickets are expensive. I have been blessed to have people in my life to give me buddy passes.
Oh yeah.
So I fly for free.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. It's
got some pretty good buddies up there in Boeing.
Yeah. So I have so my brothers work for Southwest Airlines, but the problem with buddy passes is that sometimes you don't make that flight. Sometimes like that because you're getting the leftover seats. Like so, for example, tomorrow I'm going back home. My shows are over after tonight. I leave Sunday, and all the flights are booked. So now I'm like, dang it!
So you got to pay for a whole nother. Like,
so I got to either pay for a full flight, or they got some places that are flying on Monday that's like open because they got the triathlon that's happening right here.
Ironman thing.
The Ironman thing. So everybody's here. So all the tickets are like pretty much bought up.
Oh yeah.
So now I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have to spend an extra $150 on a hotel room so that I could either spend $150 on a flight to get out of the city, or I could just stay here an extra night and go Monday. I'm like, I like Wilmington. I want to go stop by Michael Jordan's house, wherever that is.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Good. Yeah. You go to the beach. There's some things. Plus, you get another night. Out of it. Like even me going home to Winston, like out of Wilmington for a while. It's like even if I hate Winston, instead of my hometown. But like just getting away for a little bit is something about that. You know what I mean?
How far is that from here?
Like 3.5, 4 hours. Okay, so it's not too bad.
Yeah,
just a long drive.
Yeah. The person that I have featuring for me, he's Richmond, so he's staying out here. So I'm like, maybe I'll drive up to Richmond because there's more flights available from Richmond to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So I might end up doing that.
Or Charlotte and Raleigh. Those two are the cheapest flights. Like,
really?
Yeah, Charlotte's a good hike, but I mean, getting to Charlotte because like I'm going to Austin in November, and like the flights from Charlotte to Houston and then a bus ticket to Austin is like I paid like $140 for a round trip.
Solid.
Yeah, I mean that's like with bus and then going to Houston and all the whole thing. So, but I mean that's like a whole round trip, and that's pretty cheap.
Are you going to Austin for business or pleasure?
Oh, definitely pleasure. Yeah. Me and my boy, we're going to go down there because he's thinking about moving to Austin because I've been here for a while. I'm kind of burnt out on it. It's like I love it here. Don't get me wrong, but like a small city, but it's got a big city vibe, and it's just I feel like bigger city, more opportunity. You know what I mean?
I love Austin.
Yeah, you been there?
I've been there a few times. My friends got shows there. My friends who were living in Los Angeles have now moved to Boston. And so, not Boston. I'm sorry, Austin.
Close.
Yeah, no, I'm supposed to be shooting something in Boston. That's why I said that.
Yeah.
But no, Austin. Yeah. So because most of the comedians have moved down there after Joe Rogan opened up his club. Tony Hinchcliffe is down there.
Got the
Kill Tony. That whole world.
That'd be cool.
And so all those comedians and unless you're killing it in Los Angeles, there's no reason to be in Los Angeles. I tell people that all the time. Unless you're from Los Angeles, you have the money for Los Angeles
or the connections.
Or the connections.
Yeah.
Why are you out here? Like, it's so expensive.
Yeah.
Like I got a 2-bedroom and I pay like $3,700 a month for my 2-bedroom.
Yeah, that's
where
wild.
if I was living in Austin, you can get a house like I follow these Instagrams. It's like
Mhm.
what $350,000 gets you in Austin. I'll be like, what?
Yeah,
There's
that'll break your
nothing.
heart though, won't it?
Yeah, it does.
You
Every
gotta
time.
unfollow that shit. Yeah, unfollow
I
that
like to
shit.
torture myself.
Yeah, self-deprecating.
Sadistic.
But yeah, no, but I've always kind of thought, even like being in the city where the industry's like thriving, you know what I mean? Like, still that kind of proximity, you don't think it's like, oh, I guess it's kind of like a lottery ticket thing. You're like, oh yeah,
it is.
maybe I meet the right person who puts me as a lead in a show or something like that. Obviously, that's unrealistic, but I mean, just meeting the right people though, and that's a big part of it. But now with the way social media is, just like your platform, I wanted to mention that you got a great big following on Instagram too. You know what I mean? And you got your social media hustle down, so that's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
You got Theo Vaughn following you. I was like, oh, fucking awesome.
Yeah, Theo.
Yeah, Theo Vaughn.
If you watching this, what's up, man?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know you're
Theo's
not
cool.
watching this.
Theo's funny, man.
Have you've hung out with him? Like, you know him like that?
Yeah, I know Theo.
Oh, that's so cool, man.
We don't hang out like we're besties, but if we saw each other, it's like, hey, what's up, man? Yeah,
what would you see him, like the comedy store?
Comedy store, yeah. We comedy club, but he's on the road so much.
And his podcast, I mean, he's got huge podcast following now since with him and the Rogan thing, and then like he kind of got his own thing that's gotten almost as big as Rogan's, I'd imagine.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
the money that's in podcasting is nuts, especially once you find that niche and you find that audience and people really want to listen to you. The money's there.
Yeah.
The money is there.
Having the sponsors and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I imagine TikTok's the same way. I mean, I don't got a TikTok thing, but you got a big TikTok thing going on. I think I saw it on your description. Like,
I got like 400,000 on TikTok.
Followers?
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. That's pretty crazy. I mean, that's wild just thinking about all that. I mean, I like this because it's fun. Like, I like this because, I mean, with the masonry work I do, it's like you kind of just do the work, then you leave, and you're dirty and dusty, and you know what I mean?
But even those people are making like getting a lot of followers on. Like, I follow some of those people on there, and they'll be like, they're still doing something comedy wise, even in like the fields that they're in, like
commercial or marketing kind of thing.
Well, not just that, but just like even like when they're out in the field. Like, you ever see like these funny cop videos where the cops be like doing little pranks or?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
So it's like it's always something. Like, they got people that be working at Target and they'll do like Target comedy videos. There's people that do.
There's some people. Some of that. Like, I think all the cop videos I get are all morbid. Like, it's like some kind of cop chase where some guy gets killed. You know what I mean? Like, I need to quit. But then even the Target videos, you see some of those guys, they're like throwing shit on people's head. I'm like, dude, are they really?
Oh,
like,
man.
It's like, I'd be so pissed, dude.
Some of them are. Some of them are like, hey, this is what I'm gonna do.
I'm gonna throw this bag of feathers on your head.
Here's $100.
Yeah.
Like, all right. Yeah, like I do some of that stuff with my friends. I'm like, hey, it's a prank, but it's not, because I need somebody to film.
But it's your friends too. Like, you're like, hey, I'm gonna get you doing something.
Yeah.
Just gonna be authentic. I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but you're gonna hate it. It's like, or something like that. Something like, I don't know.
Yeah,
that would be cool. Because I mean, is that what you do on the TikTok, like that kind of thing? And then,
so my TikTok is me and my son's podcast. That's what blew it up. So me and my son got my same humor, man.
Oh, that's awesome. When you got a buddy that has that humor.
Yeah,
he's your son on top of that.
He's 21. He's that's my boy.
Yeah. That's awesome.
my boy. He does music, and we laugh at the same things. We got the same laugh. It has the same little cadence to it.
Yeah.
And he does the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, dang.
Oh, that's
I can't deny you even if I wanted to, man.
I've tried.
Every year for his birthday, I do a DNA test just in case it changes up.
Just in case there's a 1% chance.
There's a 1%. It says 99.
But I keep trying.
I keep on trying.
Oh, that's
even
cool,
though
man.
child support's over.
Yeah. Trying to get that back pay is what it is. Trying to get a sue for all that back. It's not my kid,
That's funny.
Nah, yeah, that's wild. What do y'all talk about? Y'all just kind of talk about whatever. Does he do comedy in the industry?
No. He just does music.
Okay.
We talk. The reason why it blew up is because we have very raw conversations, and we have conversations that most people don't have with their parents. He'll ask me like, "Hey, old," he calls me old. He says, "Hey, old, would you and mom ever get back together?" Like stuff like that. And I'm like, "Boy, no. Your mom, like his mom's a lesbian."
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, "No."
And she shot at me.
Yeah.
A little tag, bring that back around.
Yeah, or like he'll ask me like, "Hey, did you mean to have me?" And I'm like, "No, Malcolm. You see how young I am and how old you are.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you were clearly an
You were
accident,
my
man.
favorite accident.
My favorite. You're my favorite accident.
Except for your little sister.
Yeah. So we will have those type of conversations, and like people just kind of connect to it. We talk about smoking weed. We talk about
cool,
women, and so that accumulated a following from people wanting to be in those conversations.
Yeah, yeah.
So
that's why I watch the podcast I watch. I feel like I'm there kind of hanging and listening, laughing with them while I'm like laying bricks and shit.
That's how my stand-up is too. My stand-up is just as casual as this conversation.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I talk to the people in the audience a little bit. I don't let them frustrate me too much.
Little crowd work
going on. I like that. Like sometimes I'll get some bad hecklers that want to talk too much. Like I don't mind you talking to me. I don't mind you even heckling me. But there comes a limit. It's like, all right, you doing too much. You like, and instead of getting mad, like a lot of comedians will get upset. But like, shut up. Why you talking? And then, they'll go the angry route. I go more the embarrassing route. I'm like, dang.
Man, you got something in your teeth.
No, maybe not that crazy. But it'll be more like, how crazy is it? Like I'll do like some psychobabble, like, and I look at them just like how I'm talking to you right now. I'm like, how crazy is it that you would sit here and have an audience full of people, and you would rather be the spotlight and steal the show, and nobody here wants that?
Yeah, yeah. Like, what are you doing? Just sit down and be quiet.
Dang, that's got to be something. Like I'm like, and you and if they're in a relationship, I'm like, and you got to deal with this every day. We just got to deal with it for an hour.
Yeah,
this is your daily life, and then sometimes that'll shut them up, or sometimes that'll upset them even more. Yeah,
it's like a two-edged sword. Yeah, yeah.
But when you take that power away from them, they will eventually shut up.
Yeah, even if they're like stupid drunk.
I think one of the craziest things that's happened to me on stage.
Got smacked by Chris Rock. I mean,
Will Smith.
Will Smith. Actually, Chris Rock turned around and done it.
That was crazy because when that situation happened, I've had people be like, "Hey, I'll come up there and Will Smith you right now." Will Smith opened up a door for people to be arrogant and cocky, thinking that comedians ain't gonna do nothing.
Like they can be violent.
Yeah. No, Chris Rock didn't do anything. Some of us ain't right in the head, and we got enough anger to like, please come up here and do something.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's box.
No, I'm like, go ahead.
Yeah, please.
I dare you. Come up on the stage. I'm not even gonna let you on the stage. I'm gonna kick you in the face while you're up.
and then I got the crowd on my side, and this is self defense. Please.
Yeah, yeah. That's crazy. So, what is the craziest thing that happened? Like,
I was up in Aurora, Illinois, and it was a bachelorette party. Bachelorette parties are wild. They drunk. It's like, ooh, I'm getting married alive. Yeah. And I had and there's that trope where everybody knows you don't touch a black person's hair. You don't touch a black person's hair. We don't want that. We're not science projects. I'm not a petting zoo.
Yeah.
And this lady says, she was white. She was like, I want to come up there and touch your hair. I was like, please don't. Just stay down.
You want to get stone cold stunned?
Wouldn't that be crazy? Yeah. And the crazy thing about, even if let's say I did stone cold stunner, everybody would start filming at that point. They wouldn't get. I would get in trouble. Mm-hmm. Comedian stone cold, white lady. His
son came in with a steel chair.
Yeah. But I'm like, wait, y'all gotta understand something happened before that. But no one ever films the before that. I think about that sometimes when I look at some of those videos, fight videos, where it'd be like, one of those what they call them Karen situations, where it'd be like this breakout, like, because that's where we all start saying it. Because that's when the people be like, oh, snap.
Here it comes,
boom. But I'm like, what got you there? What got you? What made you that mad? Where you was like, I don't care that I'm being filmed. I don't care that I might lose my job. It's just that moment of
just complete lack of self-control. And so she wanted to touch it. Did she actually get on stage?
She got on stage and she touched my hair.
Oh man, really?
And I was just the black people all grown because they're like,
Like, oh hell, yeah.
here we go.
What was the crowd like? Like a lot of black people, a lot of white people.
Yeah,
Or?
it was a good mix.
Good
It
mix.
was like. I take that back. I say it was like, if I had to put a math to it, 75, 25. 75. Most audiences that I do are higher. There's a lot of white people that go to those shows. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm in Wilmington. It's just number wise. It's gonna be it's just more white folks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so unless you're a black comic that black people want to see, it's harder to sometimes, like Kevin Hart's, the Cat Williams, who I think is one of my goats, man. Williams.
Yeah, he's the first comic I think I watched.
Really?
No, it was either him or Christopher Titus. I can't remember, but I remember watching Pimp Chronicles like in like 2000. I had just started smoking weed, so I was like, every day I'm hustling.
That was it.
I loved it. Dude.
Me and Christopher Titus have the same manager.
Oh yeah,
the guy that booked.
So you know how I'm talking? Yeah, because like he had one special me and my dad watched. It was like a bonding dad experience. You know, we watched this Christopher Titus, and he was hilarious because like he was talking about his dad, like, why are you drunk? And like pouring beer on him because his dad was alcoholic.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. And like, but I mean, he's cool now. He's sober. But I mean, it was a really fun experience, like watching it. But I haven't seen him, and I think he's got a YouTube. But that's cool. You got the same manager.
Yeah, we got the same manager, and yeah, he's still on the road. He's still doing a lot of stand up. He's still a draw. He's still killing it. He's so funny, man.
Yeah, he was funny. That's why I've only seen I think one special, and it was like a Comedy Central. But I just remember that like vividly, like watching his special. You know?
Who's your top 5
comedians?
Yeah, just.
Oh God, Dave Chappelle. Gotta be Dave Chappelle. Even though it was Dave Chappelle. Bill Burr. Cat Williams. Gotta throw Cat in there. And then that's the 3 off the top of my head. Then
did you ever get into old school comedians?
Yeah, Richard Pryor was like, I love Richard Pryor. You know what I mean? Eddie Murphy. Ron White. I love Ron White.
Yeah, I want to get to that level.
What?
Ron is so chill on stage. He got like a cigar and he just like.
I don't think he even drinks anymore. He used to go there and just get fucked up. He's like drinking bourbon and smoking the whole time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think he even drinks anymore. I think he's sober.
Oh wow.
I think so.
Because there's alcohol. What that does, like I didn't drink as much until I started doing comedy full time.
I bet because you're in like this environment, you know, a couple shots.
I don't know anybody. I'm in these different places every time. Every time I go on stage, I'm. There's a whole bunch of new folks that I don't know. Like I didn't know anybody in Wilmington, and but my shows here have been absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, so you had a great time last night.
I had an amazing time last night.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I'll get my drink, kind of lower my inhibitions and lower just just like alcohol is like a.
It does.
I'm not drinking to be like.
Yeah. Just takes that like pressure of like I don't know. I get so anxious. Like I only done it twice, but I drank like 5 shots when I first got on stage. Didn't feel none of it.
Yeah.
Until I got off stage, then I was like, oh fuck, dude. It all hit me like
it just started.
And I'm talking. I'm like, yeah, you know. They're like, oh, that was pretty good, you know. And then they like made us leave because we were talking too much afterwards. You know But I can imagine, like, alcohol definitely kind of knocks the edge off. I couldn't imagine being stoned up there. I'd be like way too analytical. Unless I guess if I'm like slightly stoned. You know?
Yeah. I get slightly stoned.
Slightly stoned.
I get slightly stoned, so
well,
I
you're
can have that.
Like regular smoker too. Like if I was smoking now and done it, I feel like it's like the worst thing that could ever happen to me. You know what I mean? Or maybe like mushrooms on. Like I think Theo done mushrooms on stage. I watched a video of him doing it one time.
Really?
Like, oh, that sounds intense. Like I'd be laughing. The only one I would just be laughing the whole time.
If I were to do mushrooms on stage, it would have to be. It would have to be my audience, like people that come to see you.
Like your groupies.
Yeah, like my groupies.
There you are. I love you, baby.
But I wouldn't do it in like this is my first time. Nobody knows me. Yeah, but it would just be like on some like, hey, we about to have a good time, y'all. Let's. I would probably do a shroom show where everybody has to do it. Like everybody.
All right,
has to
everybody, go ahead and do your shroom.
On 3, and then I'll be back in 45 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, I bet that feeling is amazing. That like be able to control that crowd, like well, not control. Well, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, kind of getting the crowd going. Like, what's up, everybody? You know,
Love
like one of the best feelings in the world.
it. It's lovely.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So no, I'm just saying, like, if Theo did it, it's probably with his audience, and they just having. It's a party. It's a good time.
That's all. Yeah, I think it's more the anxiety for me because I've always kind of been prone to anxiety growing up, anyways. You know, so like thinking about like and like it does. It's weird thing is it's the lead up to it. You know what I mean? Like leading up to my name getting called. But once I'm up there, and if I've like memorized what I want to do, you know, I guess exposure therapy, like you do it more and more. So like you probably it probably doesn't even like affect you like that. When you go on stage, you still get a little bit of like.
Man, I have the worst stage fright.
Really? Yeah.
The absolute. Every time I go up on stage, I go through this self-doubting part in my head. It's like, oh, Willie, what if they don't laugh, man? What if they don't enjoy your jokes? You don't know nobody here. How you know what's gonna make that person laugh? So I'm like, oh.
When does it hit you? Like the day of, or even a couple hours?
All the way until they say next person coming to the stage, Willie Macc.
Yeah, yeah.
It happens all the way until I put my foot on the stage, and I'm like, I ain't anxiety, I ain't self-doubt. We got work to do. Yeah. I understand that it's there, but this is.
But once you get up there, it's like muscle memory.
You kind of know it's a mixture of muscle memory and reminding myself this is supposed to be a fun time.
Yeah, have a good time.
Yeah. It's like, I don't want to compare it to sex, but it's like sex is supposed to be a good time. Yeah. Sometimes you can go into sex where it's like, all right, some people will be like, I hope I make her orgasm. Hope it's not as nice for her as it is for me. And you know,
you're talking about like your sets now or like your open mics? Like,
oh no, open mics. Open mics
or
is
an hour.
Just
because comparing it to sex, because it sounds more like an open mic, at least in the sex that I'm experienced with. You know what I mean?
That's funny. Yeah.
3 minutes. I'm nervous. I'm done, and I'm happy it's over. I'm just picking.
But comedy is supposed to be a good time.
Yeah, yeah.
And even if here's what I've learned. You're not going to make everybody laugh.
Yeah.
Everybody don't think Kevin Hart's funny. Everybody don't think Dave Chappelle's funny. Everybody don't think Jerry Seinfeld's funny. But you don't worry about those people. And if I do Crow and there's 100 people in the audience, I know leaving the Crow, I will get at least, if I had to put a number to it, just making up a number, 80 people had the time of their life.
Yeah, yeah.
Out of that 80 people, 25 of them will follow. Out of that 25, 10 to 15 are now Willie Macc fans.
Oh, that's
like,
great.
Wherever you're going, Willie, I'm there.
Yeah.
It's that type of stuff. Like, even when I was leaving last night, people were like, if you ever in Richmond, I would drive. Someone told me I would drive 3 to 4 hours to come see you wherever you're at. And those are the people that I'm focused on. Yeah. Every time I tour, every time I come back to Wilmington, if I can get 10 to 15 people, 20 people to come see me, eventually, in about 5 years, this place is going to be packed out of just Willie Macc folks. Yeah, and then it's like, hey, everybody, I'll be back in 45 minutes, do one shroom, and then we're going to have a good time.
Take a puff.
Take a puff. And I'll be right back. Let it kick in.
Yeah. That's cool. So you zero in, like, you used to do that, like, laugh more. You're like, oh, because, like, I've noticed comedians will zero in on me because I laugh a lot. I'll laugh at the stupidest shit.
100%.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, keep 100%. Going. If I'm not laughing, then you're bombing, most likely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Most of them I'll laugh.
If I'm not laughing, it's you, not me.
Yeah, because I'll laugh at whatever.
So once you have that in your head, you're like, fine, I'm not even trying to make all y'all laugh.
Yeah.
I'm trying to have a good time. I'm going to tell my story, and I'm going to do the best job as I possibly can. And that's kind of how I deal with it.
Yeah, that's how you approach it. That's the best way to look at it too, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you go into something that you started to have fun, you're like, oh, I love this. And I guess like anything, you can kind of get like, oh, I relate it to my work now, like masonry work. I don't love it. I hate it. I don't hate it. I don't like to say that. I enjoy it in a way, but like I'm like, man, I'm so glad I'm not working at that hotel, like working for somebody, and like, I'm like, why am I working for you? Why am I? What you know what I mean? You making more money than I, and like you're not doing shit, but like telling me you should do this, this, and this. You know what I mean? So like I'm at least I've run my own shit. It's kind of how I look at it, you know.
That's the best way to look at it.
Yeah.
What's your stand-up about?
My stand-up, I can't even watch it now. But like I've recorded both of them. It's like the first 2 times, It was okay. I did like a story. So like one-liners, I don't have. I just do like stories,
I'm
and I
not a
kind of like.
one-liner either.
Yeah, well, you had a good one earlier. The first one you had said. Like I was like, oh, that's a
Oh,
short one. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Punchline set up. Expectations twisted. Like I did not see it coming. But I was like, that was good. But I do like a story of like most of them is true stuff or like and then exaggerated, and I have like laughing points I think will make people laugh, and it kind of worked. And then obviously I did like the low hanging fruit. I did like a lot of sex stuff, like crude kind of jokes at first. But yeah, the two times I did it, the second time was during COVID, and like there was like 5 people out there, and they were all comedians too. I was like, yeah. But yeah, it's mostly just like it was the last few times it's crude. The challenge I have myself for next time is like when I do it again, it has to be cleaner. So I'm not gonna allow myself to do crude jokes. Self-deprecating a little bit. I kind of like ragging myself a little bit. I'm like, I can laugh at myself all day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Self-deprecating is good because not good, but
it's almost like a double-edged sword though. It's like you're kind of like you're like talking shit about yourself, but you're being funny about it. Like you're also like, should I be talking shit about myself?
It makes you feel like the stuff that you're going through ain't as bad sometimes.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
And people laughing at it. It's like, all right.
Yeah, maybe. It kind of does release it a little bit. You're like,
it's kind of like they say, like if a baby trips and falls right here, and it has a split decision to know how serious it is by looking at like the parent or the person around. The baby come in, poof, and you like, oh no, the baby starts to cry.
Oh, okay.
But now that baby comes in here, cry or falls, trip, boom. And you say,
yeah.
The baby starts to laugh too.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, okay, it's not as
cool.
It's not as bad.
My pain is hilarious.
Yeah, my pain is hilarious. And that's how it feels.
Yeah.
That's that moment. So I'm up there, I'm like, yeah, I had a kid in high school, dealing with this, I got beat, I got it, and people are like, oh no. Or someone says, ha, me too.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you too?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not alone.
Yeah. I'm not supposed to laugh at that, y'all.
And people laughing sometimes are laughing, but there's different versions of laughter that I've learned in stand-up. You got to get people that have like nervous laughter, where they're like, yeah, you sir, you da-da-da-da, and they're like, oh.
Yeah.
You got people that got shock laughs, where it's like, where I'm like, yeah, shot at 4 times. This happened. My place got robbed, and then I broke up with her. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
I get what
it's
you
like
did.
That click there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You get relatable laughs. Like a lot of older comedians. I don't want to say older. I'm just saying that because I'm talking shit right now. But we'll do like. Remember back in the day when music was music? Like these kids would have no idea what it's like trying to put a cassette into a cassette player and then trying to hit the start and record buttons at the same time so you can record the stuff that's playing on the radio. Like kids will never understand it. They won't understand Oregon Trail or having to drink out of the spout outside. When you have to drink out of, and people are laughing at that because they're like, oh my goodness, that's what we are. We remember having to do those type of things.
Because I definitely remember all that.
All of that, yeah.
Especially Oregon Trail. You just brought back some nostalgia.
Oh, when your oxens died?
Yeah. Well, I only got to play it. I was like playing at school, like in the library.
If any, I don't know anybody that played Oregon Trail at home.
That was for Roller Coaster Tycoon only.
Yeah. I just found out last year how to play Minesweeper. I didn't know how to play Minesweeper. You remember Minesweeper?
Oh yeah.
All I did was click on boxes until you hit the bomb.
It's literally getting me set up for a gambling addiction at some point.
This ain't healthy.
Yeah, I was like,
again.
I got a 5, baby.
Again. But there's an actual strategy to that game.
Yeah, I remember. I don't know. It's crazy. I looked it up one time on how to play it, and I was like, oh, that makes fucking sense. You know what I mean?
Like there was no instructions for Minesweeper on the computer. It was just like, you just.
Dude, this is solitary. I'm sick of fucking
solitary.
It
was that. It was. This is. That's why we're laughing right now because we relate to just Minesweeper and solitaire.
Yeah,
it's not necessarily anything funny about Minesweeper and solitaire. Like if it was written out. Exactly. Yeah. This is our Pokemon.
Yeah. They're like
Pokemon.
Oh, that one thing.
Yeah. This is our. Was it Minecraft? Yeah,
Oh,
Roblox. Yeah, that was our version of this.
Yeah, Minecraft's a new. I think Pokemon is still kind of big though. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still a thing now,
It's
but it
still-
wasn't as big as it used to be. I swear.
No.
Yeah.
I had the playing cards. My dad took my playing cards away because he was like, "Oh, those are demonic."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had that type of day. He's like,
Well,
"Give
he
me
says a
those."
pasture, so yeah, I can see that.
But he took them from me, and they were still in the house.
Yeah.
It's not like he threw them away. He just removed the demons from downstairs to upstairs.
Yeah.
Like,
So should I anoint them or something?
should we pray for these demons?
Yeah. Oh, my fucking Bulbasaur.
That's my Bulbasaur.
Yeah.
That was my Charizard. That was the golden card that had like the gold trim on it. Like,
Dude,
dang.
When it comes to like trading cards game, like when I was in 6th grade, I remember getting Yu-Gi-Oh cards for the first time, and I was like, oh yeah, I got some Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I was like hype, and I was like, I knew these kids that would sit down, in the cafeteria that would sit down close to me, and they would always play, and they had the little Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I was like, okay, I'll be accepted amongst it because I got Yu-Gi-Oh cards too. I went and talked to these nerds, and they dogged on me for having the worst Yu-Gi-Oh card deck, and I was like, at that point, I was like, man, high school's gonna be a bitch, because I was like, I mean, the nerds are like dogging on me for having bad Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Like I was like, Jesus Christ.
See, that's even a version of what I was saying. Like they found their people.
Yeah, finding your people. Yeah,
you gotta find your people somewhere out there. Are a group of people that's like, hey, I want to hear what you got to say.
Yeah,
you just haven't found them yet. I haven't found all of my people that want to hear what I got to say yet.
Yeah.
But they're out there.
They're out there
somewhere.
For sure. Yeah, and you find little, like I've definitely found little clippets of people that I like relate to, and I'm like, you know what I mean. But like having like it'd be cool to have a bigger following, I guess, or a bigger crowd of people. Yeah. I mean, it's cool. So where did you find a lot of these people like growing up? You think was the comedy club a big one? How do you get along with other comedians? Are they like mostly pretty cool or?
Other comedians love me.
Yeah,
I'm a comics comic.
I've heard that phrase. That makes sense. Okay.
Like we met at was it the open mic or was it the show? Where did we?
I hit you up on Instagram.
You hit me up
I
on
cold
Instagram.
DM'd you. Was like, yo, you want to be on the podcast?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, he wants to.
I went to the open mic and the comics were surprised that I was there.
Yeah.
They were like, well, aren't you headlining the weekend? I'm like, yeah, I'm headlining.
Did you go to the open mic this Thursday? Oh, cool. Yeah.
Nice. I went and hung out. I did the open mic. I did a couple of jokes. Or whatever. I did my 3 minutes like everybody else, and they were trying to like move me up. They're like, because I signed up like I think like 18 or something, and they're like, well, Willie, we'll put you up 5th or 3rd, whatever. I was like, no, it's cool. Let me just I'll
do
sit
my
in.
thing. Yeah.
And so what I also do is like comics come and talk to me. Like I'm somebody that you can talk to if you need advice, if you want to have a joke punched up. I'll even punch up people's materials all the time. Like I'm like, hey, that joke you had about blah 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 blah. Maybe you should think about doing it this way. Ooh. So I'm that guy.
Yeah,
that's
cool. That's cool to be even outside of comedy. So just being that kind of guy, like really open to talking and.
I'm a comedy whore. I love this.
Comedy whore.
This.
Yeah.
If you like, hey Willie, we doing a comedy show in this back alley.
Yeah.
You
like,
down?
Like,
all right.
Yeah.
Hey, we doing
down.
a comedy at this KKK rally. You cool?
Yeah.
Hey,
let me get the mic. You got an extra hood or something?
Y'all got an extra hood? Be like, what was it? Did you watch the Chappelle show?
Yeah, that's
Bixby or Bugs, whatever he was.
The blind guy?
Yeah. Show what's your face?
His show was iconic. I tried to get into Key and Peele, but I didn't get into it as much as I did Dave Chappelle. Chappelle show or whatever. Key and Peele is still good though. I mean, they're both really good.
Oh my goodness, I love both of them. I love the do you have a favorite Dave Chappelle skit?
Not a favorite.
Do you remember
the
Wayne
blind
Brady
one was a big one. That was a good one. Yeah, Wayne Brady. I haven't seen it in so long, but yeah, Wayne Brady was my favorite because I liked Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Oh, Whose Line? That was so good.
Have you ever done improv? Like
I did. I don't like it.
You don't like it? Really?
I don't like it. Improv. I'm not bad at it. I understand improv. I did improv classes and like I've gone through the training.
It's not your forte.
It's just not my forte.
Yeah.
And it's funny because a lot of improv people feel the same way about stand up. They're like, because improv is like 5 people on stage at a time. and then it's all off the top of their head. And if you start to struggle, somebody comes in and kind of like helps saves the day.
Yeah.
Comedy, being a comedian, you up there
Nah,
by
you
yourself.
eat shit.
You ain't eating shit.
You go up there and you eat shit. I think that's what I was most worried about. The only 2 times I did it is I was like going up there. I was like, I'm gonna forget everything I planned up here because I wouldn't bring notes or nothing like that. I just like because I had taken a lot of acting classes too, so I've like trained as an actor a lot. I guess I went to school for it and everything. So I was like, let me just memorize it, go up there and shoot my shot. And I didn't. The TV didn't turn off. Is what I like to explain it as. You know, that has happened to me in class a few times. When I was in college, but yeah, that's the worst feeling in the world.
Yeah, it is.
Like just you're standing there like,
Oh, that's happened to me. That was probably one of the first time I quit comedy was because something like that happened.
Oh yeah.
I was so nervous. I was doing bigger shows, but I was only doing bigger shows at that particular time because I was on that TV show. So I was thrown into, and it's Los Angeles where all the big names are already performing.
Oh yeah.
So it's not like I got to like work out in like a smaller city or whatever, and then like, all right, I passed this level. It's like going straight to Bowser.
Yeah, going all in.
Like, dang,
final boss.
Final boss. Like, I just turned the game on.
Yeah. That's the way to do it. I think, though, you know what I mean? Get your ass kicked a few times, come back, try again. You know?
Yeah. So, like I said, I'm just a comic. I love it. So that's my vibe.
Yeah.
And even when I'm, like I said, I sit on the stool when I'm doing stand up. I just
sit down when you're doing stand up.
Yeah, I'm sitting down because I want people, and depending on who you talk to, they either hate it or love it.
Yeah.
They're like, you're not supposed to be sitting down on the stool, and I'm like, what the fuck is the stool up there for?
I think it's just the irony is hilarious to me. Like whether you sit or I don't care either way. But as long as it's funny, I don't care. But
they say you don't want to sit down because you give your power away.
Oh yeah.
Like you don't see like pastors sitting down or politicians necessarily sitting down when they're doing their rallies and stuff like that. They will sit down when they're doing their interviews.
Unless you're Roosevelt. Is he the one that was in the wheelchair?
Yeah.
Roosevelt?
Yeah.
He always sitting down. But they made it where he looked like he was sitting down though. So I mean, it makes sense though.
But my stand up is very conversational. Like I want you to act like you in my living room.
Yeah. And plus, if they got rules are meant to be broken with that kind of stuff, anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like like what the big one I think of off the top of my head is the like don't make video game movies or shows. Like wasn't that a big thing in Hollywood for a while? Don't make video game stuff. And now you're just getting like killer after killer like show and whatnot. Like
for real.
Fallout and Last of Us and all that.
Yeah, I don't know what Last of Us is. What's that?
Pedro Pascal on HBO Max. And he plays like it's like the mushrooms infect people.
Oh.
It was huge. Yeah, it's a pretty big show. But it was really good.
Would you recommend it?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm pretty particular about my shows too. Like so if I like Ella Purnell, you know who that is? She is the chick on Fallout. And she's huge right now. Like every show I've seen her in is like hit after hit. So I gotta say, shout out to Ella Purnell.
I am an anime person. I'm either watching anime
I'm
watching nature docs.
I like anime a lot too.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen. Demon Slayer is top tier for me right now.
Yeah.
Jujutsu Kaisen is close second. But yeah, I'm big. I mean, what do they call it? Shonen. Shonen animes. So like I got a certain type of anime I like. You know what I mean? Like if it's not like Demon Slayer or like Jujutsu Kaisen or something like that. Attack on Titan too.
Dang, that was good.
That one I was pissed because I was mad that they fucking changed Eren into the bad guy. And my buddy I was talking to him about it, and he's like, "Oh, it's so great, he loves it." And I was like, "Yeah, but I was so pissed that they done that." And I didn't get to see the final season, but like, because it got too confusing for me with like the past and present, and like he could see the future, so he knew he was going to do it. It wasn't his fault, but I guess it was his fault because like he knew that was going to happen, so he was going to do it anyways. I don't know. It just got so confusing.
Yeah. What about Seven Deadly Sins with Meliodas?
Yeah, I like that one too.
Yeah,
I watched that
good.
one. I didn't watch none of the remakes of it. Like I guess they did number 2 and like the kid version and stuff like that. Yeah. No, I like that one a lot too. That one's good.
And then right now I am watching My Hero Academia.
I got to like season 4 of that, and then like I don't know. I just couldn't. I stopped because they didn't have any more made, and then like I just never picked it back up.
Yeah, I'm on season 4 now. I haven't finished season 4. I'm like halfway through season 4. Like that's my thing that I do after. That's how I wind down.
Yeah.
Like after these shows that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go back to my hotel. At first, I was like, I might go out, but I'm sleepy. If you can see right now,
yeah.
I'm a little tired. I might go home and take a nap and then go back out.
Yeah.
But like I go home, I turn on my anime. I'm snacking on something. I'm a big snacker.
Oh yeah.
And
you got a good metabolism then. You know what I'm saying? If you're skinny and you're a snacker, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like right now, I want some pizza. Like
pizza?
That's the move right now.
Pizza
that's
and
I'm
anime.
feeling.
That's the
Pizza
move.
and anime.
After work, obviously. You
After work.
I got one for you that you would like. It's on Netflix. It's called I just watched it the other day. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. But,
what's it look
something
like?
Island.
Oh, Death Island.
You know what I'm talking about? They go on this island and it's like the dude, you know, it's really good. I liked it a lot.
It's really good because the island's supposed to be like hell or Hell's Paradise.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah, Hell's Paradise. Hell's
You
Paradise.
said the island's supposed to be like Hell's Paradise. Well, that's the name of the show. What do you mean?
No, that show is good.
Did you see that one too?
That one's really good. I can't wait for that. I hope they come back with another season for that.
Oh yeah, they will. I'm sure that's like it's got to be one of the ones that got big.
I
imagine like the views of that, like it's got to be up there.
What's your wind down thing? What's your thing you do to like?
I have a really hard time winding down.
Uh-huh.
So like I'm trying to figure that out. Most of the time, I guess like I'll start watching sometimes I've been trying to read more. Like when I read at night, like I'll read a good book. You know what I mean? If I can find a good book that I can get into. I get hooked. Like Dune, I got hooked into Dune big time. But it took me like 150 pages to get into it. You got to get the settings set and all that. But reading, and sometimes Fortnite. I'll play Fortnite with the boys. You know, we get on there and fucking fuck off. But then my adrenaline's pumping, then I got to wind down from that. You know.
That's fine.
Yeah. What about you?
The anime and all of that. Yeah, but I will have to say this, and then we can cut around this. But the show's gonna start in 20 minutes. My show.
Oh yeah. Shit, let's get the fuck out of here.
Oh, we can wrap it up first before we just.
I was actually because I could see the timestamp on my thing, but I couldn't see the actual time. Yeah, we gotta get your show, man.
I'll be coming up on stage.
Yeah. Sorry guys, it's Jacob's fault. You know what I mean? Well, yeah. Well, I mean, you know, what you want to tell the followers, you know, I mean, come check them out tonight. I mean, I probably won't post this tonight.
Next time I'm in Wilmington, I would love for y'all to come see me at Dead Crow Comedy Club. Mm-hmm. Follow me on everything. Willie Macc is WILLIE MACC. I'm on tour. I'm gonna be touring more in 2025. I got some projects coming up that y'all will see, and make sure you watch anime. Make sure you keep watching the podcast with Jacob.
Yeah.
And
it's the thing. Check out his TikTok. His skits are fucking hilarious. I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll wrap it up and get you to your show, man. Thanks everybody. Later. Split thing for sure.